Welcome back, everyone. You know the voice. I am Big Brother today. And as always, I have the unperceived Tyler. And on this silly Saturday, awesome. This is the first episode of season 3. We wanted to bring things back, right? So we have a friend on. And Tyler, I'm gonna let you introduce this friend.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is one of my best friends from high school. Her name is Cici. That's her stage name. She's so interesting because she does so many things. Like, listen, singer, songwriter, YouTuber. Like, what's she not doing? I don't know. Oh, music teacher. Yes.
Oh, and I can a week ago. Yeah, she's busy. She is busy. We need to really lock in for today because it's the only time we get to have her.
Mystery lady is what it really is. That's crazy.
Oh my gosh, I feel so special. Wait.
I know. First of all, listen, I love her so much. And, they really vibed as soon as they met each other, her and Julian, which was really funny. So I think we're going to be in for like a really great silly Saturday.
From our previous conversation, yes, I agree. I agree.
Oh, gosh.
They're going to hear this whole conversation beforehand. It's like, wait, yeah, you really do just know each other. But
wouldn't even know.
But as always, how was your last 7-ish days, Cici?
Huh. They were busy, so the usual. I did have to drop my car off at the shop on Monday. No, I'm sorry, on Tuesday. So I'm not ready for that paycheck when they tell me it's time to come get it. So
understandable.
Run. Take the keys and run. They don't have your information.
When they hit you up in Spawn Clay, just act like you don't even know what they're talking about.
You know what?
I've even never been to them. Who are those people?
Just bring a name tag. Just like, yeah, I need to bring this out back. Run away.
You're the wrong person. That's not my person last.
Name tag and a clipboard. That's all you need. Like, wait, this is wrong. Hold up. Give me the keys real fast. I need to fix this whole thing. I'll be back.
And that's exactly right.
If it was only that easy.
If it was, we would all be pulling out the line. Honestly, I gotta go to a mechanic soon too because my AC went out in my car. I forgot about that.
Your AC went out in your car.
Yup, right in the summertime.
That's why you roll down the window. Just roll down the window.
The windows were, even with the window rolled down, it's hot, people. It's hot. Like on an 89-degree day. What is a window?
No. And see, I park outside for my teaching job. Oh no, I would simply pass away. There's no other option at this point.
I made it work, but
just do donuts in the parking lot. That's how you get to the natural air. You have to go
that's
fast.
how we need patrons. Help me fix my AC. Okay.
Look, I also have to go to get my car checked out. Shall I explain it now? It goes into my last 7-ish days.
Might as well.
Yeah.
Are you done? Are you done? Are you done? I don't want to.
Let me see. I don't think I did anything interesting the past 7 days. So yeah, we're good. Like I literally just go to work. I come home. If I have to film YouTube videos, I do that, and I go to bed.
Busy life. All right. So I have to take my car to the shop because So I knew something was up when my sister had my car. Well, was at it, and she hits me with the message of, "Hey, big brother." I'm like, "Oh no, what happened?"
As soon as they hit you with the nickname, that's
That's when you know.
Yeah.
Some
So
formative.
and I'm like, oh no, what? So she's asking me about my. And she does this thing where she's like, she doesn't want to tell me directly. She's like, oh, how was your trip? Everything and everything's going well. And she hits me with a oh yeah, Denver was fine and everything. Oh, bad news. Um, your car got tapped by an 18. I mean, no, she said my car got tapped by a truck. I'm like,
What?
are you okay?
No.
I'm like, yeah. After I found out she was okay and everything,
Yeah.
I asked, more questions. The story was, being in Atlanta, people being on the far left lane, trying to make the exit in the far right lane, crossed
No.
over. So everyone was trying to avoid, said vehicle. And she had to slow down. And I guess the truck tapped the car and everything, right? She sends me a picture. Mind you, she sends this happened at 2 o'clock. She doesn't tell me until 9. I don't see the message of the message until 3 o'clock in the morning because I would just happen to wake up. It's like, oh yeah, because the day I was just tired and I was we were actually recording an episode, Tyler. It's actually the same day we were talking to you. And so I'm like, oh yeah, what did my sister say? I wake up at 3 o'clock. I'm like, oh yeah, by the way, your car got tapped. I'm like, by a truck. I'm like,
What?
let me wake up real fast.
Tapped by a truck.
And so once I found out she was okay and everything, I'm like, okay, cool. You okay? I'm glad it was just the truck. I'm like, now when you say truck, are you talking about like a pickup truck
Right.
or an 18-wheeler? She's like, an 18-wheeler. I'm like, yeah, I'm really glad it's just the car. I get a few scratches and some paint chipped off. I'm like, yeah, perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't buy a car.
Oh my god.
Wow. Yeah. So
What's the point of these cars with all these troubles? I'm tired of this.
I mean,
yeah. So
I mean, how bad is it? Like what?
It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's like most of the scratches you can like buff out, and then there's like if I didn't tell you that something happened to my car minus the scratches, you couldn't really tell. So I'm like,
okay.
So,
But I know that was scary for her because that's like my deepest fear while I'm driving. Is any sort of 18-wheeler doing anything? I'm immediately like away from them. I'm moving away. I'm like, I like to be a lane away.
As soon as I start to see, because as soon as I start to see if that 18-wheeler even look like it's about to get over, I will slow my speed immediately. I said, you do whatever you got to do.
Right. Exactly.
I'm not fighting you.
Exactly. And from
it's
the
not
looks
gonna be
of it,
me or you. It's gonna be you.
Yes. And from the looks of it, it wasn't the front of the 18-wheeler. It was literally the wheel of 18-wheeler.
And you know those things that stick off from the wheels? Yeah.
That could have been a whole lot worse, honestly.
Oh yeah, no, it really could have been worse. So I'm like, I'm glad you okay because the car is nothing compared to that. I'm like, yeah.
Is she shook up at all? Is she all right?
No, she says she's okay. When this happened, I asked. She said she was okay. Asked again, and just just to make sure because I know sometimes it's like, oh. But no, a couple of days later, she still said she was okay. So, all right, cool. Okay. Yeah, and she's good enough to where we went out yesterday with my cousin to wrap up my 7 days. We went out. My cousin's in town. Had a good time, and so yeah, everything's good. But that's the quote. I'm telling you, my 7 days. You never know what I'm going to say in my 7 days.
Apparently, because that.
Nah.
I gotta bring this one back. 18-wheeler not taking none of us. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
Friend.
Friend. What about you, Tyler?
Oh my gosh. Well, as y'all know, my AC is out. So and then not Monday, because Memorial Day weekend was good. And then the next day after I came back from Memorial Day, I had like the whole day I had to be out doing something. And like I work remote for the most part. So like being out all day is already kind of wild for me. And then on top of that, my AC being out. And I think I found out like the day before that day. And I was just like, it's gonna be one of those. It's gonna be one of them's. And then this day, it was like the hottest day of the week. Yesterday, I went out for a walk. It was totally fine. It was like 70 something. There was a breeze. I was like, I could have had a light coat on. On Tuesday, no, it was 89 degrees. Even with the window down, it was hot in the car. I was trying not to sweat as I had to go to a whole meeting, like a whole external meeting. Like, wasn't even just the people. Like, you could be, listen, y'all, you can be musty around the people in your company. But when you're supporting your company and going to another event as the only person from your company, you cannot. Like, I'm sitting there, y'all, the place was like 16 minutes from the office. I had to put some deodorant in the bag. I was like, I can't live like this. I can't. Like, I was like, go ahead and pull the arms up in the car with the window down, air it out. Like, it was a whole thing. And then afterward, I'm driving back home at like 3 p.m. It's a 30-minute drive back. I was just like, man, it was just me in a tank top. I had a tank top underneath everything. I was like, tank top, business pants. That's it. Just me and some sweat for 30 minutes in the car. So
listen, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna hold you. This the TikTok girlies who you see and they have like this, they call cute and stuff, and they got the little like pouches and stuff in it. I have low-key turned into one of them for that exact reason. Not my pouch is cute, no. But like, is the card decked out? It's like, is the card decked out? No. But I always carry around deodorant and like all that stuff now for that particular reason, because I'm like, I don't know what's gonna happen.
Right. I threw that deodorant right in the bag in the morning. I was like, not me, not today, Satan. Because I normally have like car deodorant, but like I hadn't read up on car deodorant because I've been working from home, so I've been in my car. So I was like, so that's why I knew. I was like, this morning, throw that deodorant in the bag. You know, take you a good shower. Even if you're a night shower person, you're gonna become a morning shower person real quick if you know you don't got AC. You gotta go through in your car all day. So yeah, I had to do both, double work.
That reminds me of my current situation right now. The city is out of water. Oh, there's like a pipe burst or something.
Oh my gosh! So you know what? I saw Meg tweet about that.
Yeah.
What?
So
oh my goodness,
there's no water pressure in the city. So I have no shower, no water, no nothing. Yeah, I'm suffering.
I'm so sorry.
How long is it supposed to last for?
I have no idea, but luckily I'm not gonna be here for a week, so
you need to be clean. All right.
yeah, that's someone else's problem. That's not gonna be me.
Not my problem. Oh my gosh!
But no, that reminds me when the pipe island boy. I'm
actually not even going to an island this time. I'm finally back home and I'm leaving again.
Oh my goodness.
What were you saying?
I was gonna say that reminds me of when a pipe burst at our house.
Oh my gosh.
You probably, child, we done had a lot going on at this house. So essentially we were all asleep, and this was also like the cold, like winter months, right?
Yeah.
And my mom wakes up and she just goes, she's like, I heard a thud, or she heard something like break underneath the house. And we get up, I guess like officially in like a few hours. My dad goes under the house and he just said it was like a pool under there.
Nope. So many things. I'm like, yeah, nah, not today. I heard a thud underneath my house on solid ground where it's not on stilts. Nah, the demons got it. Exactly. I was looking for that
one of my favorite banners. One of my favorite banners. We ain't going out like that, friends. No, we're not. We don't have to put that on a t-shirt.
And the crazy thing is, there were 4 of us staying in the house. It was me, both my parents, and my cousin who was staying with us while he was going to college. 4 people. We did not have any water because we had to cut it off. We couldn't use the bathroom. We couldn't shower. We couldn't cook nothing. Like we was struggling.
Sorry, Atlanta. I'm not dealing with this.
And the crazy thing is, and then a few months after that, we had to cut the water off again because I haven't told you the Home Depot story.
Oh Lord, not Home Depot.
Well, Tyler, you know about it because I was like messaging you as it was actively happening. So essentially, we were supposed to get a dishwasher.
That's the story that I thought this was gonna be.
This is the story.
Yeah.
This is. Let me tell you. I don't know how it went from. It somehow went from getting a dishwasher to almost having to replace our floors and then having to replace the pipes under the sink.
Okay.
Yes. So I was coming home from work, and first of all, it was.
Y'all, don't buy a house, don't buy a car, just stop buying things.
Stop existing. Be a ghost.
After you hear this story, you might not necessarily disagree with that. So I was coming home from work, and first of all, it already taken like 6-ish months to get this freaking dishwasher anyway. And it finally comes, and we're like, great, we can finally wash some freaking dishes. So, and I like meal prep and stuff for the week too. So all I had to do was just use the stove and cook my food and stuff. Well, since the people were coming, I couldn't do that. So I'm driving to the house, which everything is cool for now. We're good. Everything's fine. And I get there and they're like, oh, well, we can't necessarily install the dishwasher because of the way the floor was or something like that. Like we got to call somebody else to come do it. But then they're like, well, you know what? We can actually try this and try it this way. And we were like, you know what? It's like my dad's in the kitchen with them. My dad does know about like the under the sink plumbing, especially.
Okay.
So we're like, okay, we're safe. We're, okay, fine. So while all of this is happening, me and my mom are like, all right, we're going to go pick up dinner. We left for probably 10, maybe 15-ish minutes. When I came back to the house, I see two people. I see one person running to the water heater in the garage. I see my 62-year-old father running around the back of the house. And when I saw him going to the back of the house, I knew immediately what happened. They busted a pipe under the sink. Yeah.
Ain't it always something?
I will stop this. It's like they already said we are. What I heard was they are not professionals, but we can try this. No, don't do it. Just call someone else. let them be the specialist.
Yeah, well, and my dad was in there, and my dad told him, like, you need to avoid hitting this particular part of the sink because we've had that issue before when my dad was trying to do something and it did burst.
Yeah. Nope.
Girl.
And then they try to be like, oh, well, it wasn't our fault, and da-da-da-da-da.
Okay, whose fault is it then?
It was their fault because they had to call the emergency plumber.
Exactly.
Like, we didn't call the emergency plumber. Y'all did.
People be so unserious, man. I don't know.
Very, very true.
Something about it.
Listen, we got a dishwasher now. There you go. There you go.
Moral of the story. Moral of all these stories.
Don't buy a house.
Stop using
money. Save your money. Save your money and rent things. Let someone else deal with that broke stuff. If it's broke down, that's someone else's problem. Not yours.
Listen.
But I think it's time we actually get to
Listen, we need to get to it.
The question.
Oh, you now have the record for the longest 7-ish days as of right now.
Listen,
I think so.
But yes, but do you remember the question?
Let's see. I'm pretty sure it's like how to maintain like long distance, like friendships, relationships, things like that.
Yeah.
I think the exact wording is
yeah.
How do you keep a long distance relationship, friendship, or significant other relationship?
Yeah.
I would say I can answer the friendship part. Relationship wise, I don't think I can answer that.
Oh gosh. All right, girl. What you got? What you got?
I mean, I guess the key to any relationship in general is straight up communication.
Mm.
That's really what it is. Making sure, and this goes with friends too. Making sure the other person knows how important you are to them.
Mm.
Because me and Tyler have been friends for almost 10 years, roughly.
Yeah,
And
we better get there.
Yeah, we getting there. And I think because there was a stint where Tyler was in Chicago, I think.
In Champaign. It was close though. Okay. Most people think I was in Chicago because they don't know what Champaign is. It's cool.
I just for some reason I remember you telling me that. I don't know why. I just but for that particular stint, I knew I wasn't gonna be able to like make it out there. And even now, like it's still hard for me to like travel to see her. Right. But we try to like keep in contact as much as we can. And I think that's like the biggest thing. It's like yo, what's your like 3-month update? Like what's been going on? That's usually how we do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like a relationship is a teeny bit different. Like if you are in a romantic relationship with somebody, a romantic relationship with somebody, I feel like that's a little bit different because I feel like you probably would have to, not that my friends are not effort, but I would have to like make slightly more of an effort to like see them in person, I think.
Mm.
Because one thing I will say that happens, at least in a friendship, if you guys don't see each other that much, you still talk, but that physical connection, really isn't there that much. Right. And in a romantic relationship, you run the risk of losing whatever intimacy you had with your significant other if you don't see them. So I feel like that's where like a little bit of an issue can come in.
Okay. No, I definitely agree with that because for my long distance relationships, actually the first one that I got into was back in high school. Mm-hmm. And my girlfriend at the time, we already knew was like we aren't gonna do long distance because we were in high school. None of us could get a car, so we just we knew that this wouldn't work out. So yeah, we actively chose to break up, but we're still good friends to this day. For the most part. But friend wise, for sure, communication is definitely a huge. Like I reach out to old friends all the time, and it's really just means like just checking in. It's like, hey, how are you doing? And I accept whatever information you tell me. I will never pry into your business. If you want to talk about something, talk about it. If not, all right, cool.
For sure.
Yeah, I was about to say I like fully agree. I think you hit all the really good notes that like we definitely do because I definitely think that 3-month check-in is always crazy. And then me, like we're always so funny because we'll be going through the same things kind of like different ways and be like, why didn't we talk earlier than 3 months?
And then we don't talk for another 3 months.
Oh my gosh. I just feel like it's so crazy though, because I also think like it also depends on like the friends and what y'all kind of like agree to your rhythm. Like because we're so similar, we don't mind the 3-month check-in because we're just like we be on the move.
Yeah.
We always doing something. Our 3 months be like if you're I don't even know how to describe that. Like, Cici is a busy woman.
It's wild.
I just know. And then like it's so funny because she'll check in with me and I'll be like, surprise, I got busy out of nowhere.
No, like that happened recently. As a matter of fact, no, with this exact podcast. Because Tyler messages me one day. She's like, hey, you want to be on the podcast? And I said, wait a minute. I said, when did you get on another podcast?
I am not only unperceived on this podcast, I'm unperceived by friends and family. I literally just shared this podcast on my actual like personal account. And my sister was like, when have you been on the podcast? She didn't even know about my personal.
Like, it's like, I think you would be great for it. I said, back up. No, you got apparently I missed a few chapters. How did we get here?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I kind of blamed for that one.
So
just a little bit.
I listen. It's more so me than you because I really just did listen. Unless I've been doing something for a really long time, because I'm definitely one of those people where I'll just pick things up and then I'll put it right back where it was. I will not do it again. So I'm gonna wait. So I gotta wait until I know for sure that I'm a part of it for real, and then I'll just start telling people like, "Oh yeah, I've been doing this for like a couple months," and they're like, "And I'm like, well, I just realized like a month ago that I was probably gonna keep doing it."
No, that's fair because I feel the same way because I'm like, if I'm dating someone, I won't even tell people for real until like it's been a couple months or something. The funny thing is, my sister even said, "Yeah, I've been living right next to you for the past 2 years.
what?
I still don't know anything about you."
It's really like that. I have definitely had to make an active effort to be more like, oh, okay, like people in my life should actually like know what's going on.
Well, Tyler's unperceived. I'm a phantom. Like people really just don't know what I be doing most of my time.
You know what the crazy thing is? With everything that I do have going on, barely anybody in my family knows about it.
Listen, sometimes you gotta be like, I honestly truly believe, especially with family, sometimes you need a little bit of that separation because if you tell your family too many things, they're like, what? Like you start making them nervous. I feel like that's also a part of the, like, I would say even long distance with your family. Like, even if you close distance, long distance, whatever, you're gonna need some distance.
Right. You're right.
Like it's needed.
Yeah, no, I know my mom's gonna eventually listen to this because she listens to it every so often. I think as of right now, she's still on like episode like 1 or 2. But I'm like, hey, skip this episode. Do not listen to this episode for sure. Don't listen to it. Anything else, yeah, you're fine. But it was what was the name of Keep the Lights Off. I'm like, yeah, skip it.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I haven't even listened to that episode yet. I'm gonna go back to it. I'm gonna start referencing it. I hope you come in just so your mom can hear it.
No, I know the exact name of that episode now. I'm gonna go back and listen to it myself.
Look at us. All kinds of problem.
Oh yeah, no, my mom. I write to my mom. Is like, you have free range to listen to these, but if you listen to this, please do not come at me. Right. This was 1, my business. 2, like it is this life. Like I'm 25 right now. Like I'm an adult.
Oh why did I hear 45?
25?
I promise you, it registered in my head as it said that you were 45. I was like, because I was like, wait a minute, say it again.
Like, I did not know he was 45, y'all. I have been catfished.
I have catfished everything. Everything. My license plates, my driver's license, who I went to, everything. I have catfished everything if I was 45.
That would have been crazy. Listen, what if one day I really was like, he had a hell of a secret identity, y'all? That'd be crazy. You do be changing all them names up. What is that? What do you be doing?
Well, funny thing enough, my sister has told me, it's like, yeah, they think especially in college, they thought I have a double life. My sister still thinks I have a double life now. Even living right next to me, she's like, I don't know what you do at all.
Okay, I can kind of see that because my family's kind of like that with me. At least the extended family. Because again, okay, so like baby backstory, my dad is a minister, right?
Mm-hmm.
Speak which, my dad is actually preaching tomorrow. So my family is always like, oh, like that's Minister blank blank's daughter, That's kind of like that's always been my little moniker for the past like few years. Mm-hmm. And one of my cousins was like, I know there's no way that you just don't be sitting there. They said, there's no way you are just this innocent. I said, it's not that. I just don't do anything but go to work and go home.
Mind my business. That's right.
I just mind my business. Y'all find out when y'all find out.
I'm in the house. And when I'm out of the house, you'll probably won't find out until 2 months later, but I'm in the house.
Exactly.
I'm the angel. I'm a saint. I do nothing wrong until proven otherwise. But until then, got nothing on me.
I was about to say I can't be exposed to what I do, but just know, family, I be doing things. Ask me if you want to know. We can't talk about
That's the thing. I will always say, if you ask the right question, I will tell you the truth. You just have to ask the right question.
No, listen. The highlight of my month was when I finally got to be social, and I went to my vocal coach's baby shower.
Oh, cute.
I was like, oh my God, I finally posted it on Instagram, and I was like, oh my God, I actually got to go outside. Like,
no, I get that because like I'm finally about to be outside. I've been at this job. I was actually talking about this with somebody the other day. I've been at this job for like 7 months. I don't think I've even taken like a PTO day yet, which is not regular for me actually, but they had so many holidays and then I work from home, so I don't feel the need to like take a PTO day.
That's not like you, because you got on me. Because remember, we had that conversation about me taking days off.
That's true.
Because let me tell you, I don't think, since I've been working at my job for 3.5 years, because I'm in my 4th one. Anytime that I have taken off, I'm gonna say twice it's been for vacation days. Any other time I have taken days off.
See, I'm talking about 7 months, and you talking about 3 years.
Yes.
Wait, 3 years. Two vacation days?
Yeah.
Am I hearing this right?
You're hearing it correctly.
That is not making sense to me. What?
But see, now I will say this. My job is a little different. So, like, I'm a contracted employee.
Okay.
So if I don't work, I don't get paid.
That's fair.
Okay.
So in my head, I'm like, no, we gotta take as like less days off as possible.
Okay, that makes more sense now. That's the equation.
You still gotta take a break though.
Oh yeah, and I'm getting better at it.
Because 2 days is still ridiculous. Contract, no contract.
I feel like you've taken more breaks is just because you had to take a break, like you needed to go to the hospital or something.
Well,
like
it was either like in this particular case, I had to take a day off to like drop my car because I'm like, I don't have a car, I ain't getting to work. But it was, I kid you not, it was usually like a death in the family.
Sorry to hear, but yeah, I was just like, I can hear it's like it wasn't just the 2 days, but
it wasn't like, I think now I did finally take some days off because it was a family reunion trip to Washington DC. So like I was, I did take that time off. So I did do that, and I'm getting ready to take some days off too, actually, but it does work. It kind of balances out because I think the way our schedule is, we kind of follow the school systems. So we still get like the full week off for Thanksgiving. We get 2 weeks off for Christmas and New Year's. We get a spring break. We get a summer break. Okay. Plus like, now we do alternate between Labor Day and Memorial Day. So I think we get Labor Day off this year.
Okay.
So like we get stuff like that sprinkled in too.
Yeah.
So that makes it a little bit better.
Yeah.
Makes it a little bit better.
It does.
But yeah.
That's crazy because that's the biggest thing with my job now because I have more holidays. Like that's why I've been able to take so long to take PTO because we have holidays. I'm like, by the time I get tired of something, it's like boom, a holiday. So I'm like, I don't even need to do nothing.
Honestly, that's really how I've been operating. I would like start going by breaks. And I'm like, if I can just get like the next one, because right now we are in recital season, so it's like wild right now. And I'm just thinking if I can just get to the 4th of July, it's like I get that full week off. If I could just get there.
That's pretty good though.
If I could just get right there, I'll be good to go.
But going, back to, the main question.
Yes, the question.
I like the tangents are always great. But I'll ask two because they might correlate. How's the long distance relationship going? And when was the last time you saw the person in mind?
The only person I can use is Tyler. So it's been good God since we've seen each other.
It's been a couple years since we've actually seen each other.
Since we've been in person?
Yeah.
It's been a minute.
A time.
It's been, I want to say at least 2 years.
I think so.
Mm.
Yeah.
I want to say it's at least 2 years.
Child, it's been long because I especially what threw it off was me going to Illinois.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
I
I
think
mean,
that was in
from like 2020 to 2022, like I didn't see anybody for real except like CJ. But like you were saying, because when we were in a relationship, it's just kind of like the physical connection. You still kind of want to be there with a person, or it starts getting, it starts getting weird. You start having like weird fights. Just like I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. If you're in a long distance like relationship type of thing, it's just like you start getting in like really strange arguments. Like sometimes you're just like, I don't even know why I'm mad, and then you're really just mad because you haven't seen them in person. Like you gotta watch out for those guys. Like, why am I getting so testy with them? Why I feel like I can't stand them? Oh, I just need to see them in person.
But honestly, that's our kids. That's why I feel like long distance like relationships are not for me. Because I feel like I need to be around the person,
which is not abnormal. I feel like a lot of people feel like that, like because so much of it is like that closeness and kind of like being able to see a person at least often enough. Like when you're long distance, it's kind of like, I mean, I think, well, I got lucky in the sense where because it was still kind of like when people were actually taking COVID like fully serious and whatnot, like we were the flights were like stupid cheap, which was really good because I was a graduate student and CJ was still like looking for like a job for real because everybody's kind of isolated and jobs wasn't really trying to hire you and all this craziness was going on. So he was working at Amazon. So anytime like any of us could gather some little bit of money up was probably like every 2 to 3 months we would be like flying up or down to see each other. Trying to keep that relationship up was kind of like, okay, but then I also have to see my family members and then you're trying to see somebody else, but you also don't have any money. Like I feel like being long distance anything, if you don't have the money to see all the people that you want to see, it's going to take you years to see people. Like it's you have to be super intentional unless you actually have the coins set up to take these flights and move back and forth all the time, because it's just a lot. Like even now I'm still I'm probably at least 3 to 5 hours away from most of my family, and I see them probably like twice a year, maybe 3 times if I get lucky enough or anything like that. So it's just like even that distance, and then you talking about 13 hours on a drive or like stuff like that. Who knows when you about to see them people again? I don't think I saw my family like that until like I graduated, and then most people couldn't come to my graduation because I was so far away.
Me being one of them,
right?
No, I'm exactly the same way because with my family being all over the place, it really is. I have to be intentional about wanting to see them because I just can't walk down the street and it's like, oh, hey, uncle, aunt, whoever. I'm like, I literally can't. I have to actively plan to see them. And then,
for sure. And I guess to not circle back, but I guess to like bring this up too, it's not that your friends are not important either. It's not that you're not trying to like intentionally not see them. And I feel like that is something that's important too, because if me or Tyler ever felt like, oh, like you just don't want to see me,
right?
Because we like physically couldn't make it, and it's like, no, that's not the case. So sometimes you do kind of, especially I would say with friends more so than the relationship, you do have to understand it's like there's kind of like a hierarchy in a sense. So it's like I would say like if you're long distance anything, like your family would be first, because that's family. Like those are the people who are literally blood. If you want to see them, getting those type of dynamics. So and then it's like you have your partner who you want that physical connection with. That is somebody maybe you want to build a family with. And then underneath that, that's kind of where the friends come in. Not that, and it's not to say like, oh, like this one is just so important. And then it's like, you're at the bottom. But to me, that's how I would arrange it, because I feel like if you're friends with somebody, you understand that they have something else that's going on too.
Yeah. I also feel like some people's hierarchies are different, and that's where a lot of that tension can come from too.
Yeah.
Or like you're like, okay, you're always seeing such and such, but you're never seeing me. And it's like,
yeah,
I have a different relationship, like the hierarchy of relationships are just different for me than it is for you. And that's where we're seeing like tensions and stuff. And so it's really about also understanding, like, if you really know somebody, understand what's important to them too. And but also validating your own feelings. Because you know, I do feel like there's like a certain level to like you can, it's like, I don't want to say you can feel it, but in a way you can feel it, you know, when you're like, okay, I'm feeling like you could at least FaceTime me or do a Zoom call or something, where even if we're not doing the physical connection part, you're still not showing that you would show up for me, at least in whatever way you could do it, or like try to, if I'm really got something going on, you're not really going to try to do anything about our connection. Right. And that is like a big deal. I definitely think it gets exasperated in relationships, but I think it can get exasperated in friendships too. Like sometimes if you haven't seen a friend in a while, or you ain't talking to them, or like sometimes I do have to like make sure that I'm being intentional and like hit my friends up, even if it's just to have like a 1 hour phone call and be like, hey, how's it going? Let's catch up, whatever. Even if it's been like however many months or whatever the heck. And sometimes it's even as simple as, you know, interacting with their stuff on social media. Like there's different ways to connect with people where you're like, okay, I'm still thinking about you, even though it's kind of like a quick thing. But I just want to make sure that you understand that I know you still out there and we still cool. Like,
yeah. And that's kind of what I'm going through. I'm going to try to do something different. Instead of talking about the friends, I'm going to try to talk about myself more so. Because that's literally what I'm kind of going through right now, because friends that I've had for years, there is a distance that I'm actively feeling for. I'm gonna say it's because of things that I've done. Now, whether I think it's the justification is, or like for what I did is not on the same level of the punishment that I'm receiving, but I still feel that there's a lack of communication with some of my friends, and it's getting to the point to where I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Like because with any like friendship or relationship, it takes two to tango. Like if I'm the only one trying to reach out or do whatever, and like you said, Tyler, like even though you're not directly calling me, there's other ways to get in contact with me, but it's it's not felt. So, but that's one of my friends. But I also have a friend. We've been friends since high school. He's he's actually my longest friend. And when I see him, it's like time has not changed. Like we talk to each other. We can not talk for months at a time, pick it right back up exactly where we left off. And exactly how we left off.
Right. And that's definitely like the biggest thing. Like I feel like almost all, honestly at this point, I'd probably say all like my long distance friendships, I feel like I have that. Even if I feel like a little like, you know how sometimes if you just haven't talked to somebody in a while, you're gonna feel like a slight little disconnect. We always pick it up like right where we left it off. Right? It don't even matter. Like if you're feeling weird, because I also had to get through this too, because I have been so disconnected when I was in Illinois and stuff, and now being down here and back, and then also having the time to connect with people, it was like weird because I was feeling weirdly disconnected. But I think it's just because I hadn't seen them in so long, I hadn't nurtured those like relationships. It's just like once you get back into it and you realize like, oh, it was just me being weird. Really was nothing going on.
That's it too. I think another now this is I don't know, I think this is just for me personally. Another thing that I've kind of like started to do is try to like check in with myself and like have my own like self accountability, because and I've had conversations with Tyler. It's like, yo, I feel like I'm being a bad friend. I feel like every time I talk to you, it's because something is going on, and it's like I'm talking to you for that reason. And Tyler will sit there and be like, no, like that's what I am here for.
Yeah.
Because if I didn't say anything, then Tyler would be mad at me. So
Exactly. Like don't tell me after you done gone through it. Come on now. We're going through it together.
yeah. So
because I will say too, like it's the energy that you receive back. Like if you really do feel like you're forcing something to kind of be what it isn't, I always encourage people, listen, if it feels like it's forced, don't force it.
yeah,
Like there's no reason to do that. There's so many connections that you probably have if you look at in your life where you didn't have to force anything. Nothing is forced. Why am I trying to force one thing to work when all these other things work so naturally? It's just kind of like if it's not working out, it's cool. Maybe it's not the time. Maybe you just fall back and you reconnect again later. Like that can also happen.
Yeah.
Like sometimes people do need that disconnected time because maybe something's happening in their lives or something's happening in your life, and because of that, y'all aren't on the same page anymore. And I think that's totally natural. Like we're human. We can't always be exactly what another person needs in their life at that moment. Yeah. And so I don't think you need to harbor ill wills just to be like, listen, I don't need to be in this person's life at this moment. And if I'm not feeling it and I feel like I'm forcing it, let's just take a step back. They'll do what they do. If they really want me in their life, they'll come back around. And it always happens. They do always come back around if the relationship is really what you thought it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. I will say though, it probably won't be the same exact level that where it left it out, but it can easily come back.
I mean, even if it's different, like it's okay. Because relationships in general, none of them. You would be a very lucky person if all your relationships are the exact same through your whole life.
A very lucky person.
You are a magician. People do not work like that. Like, you know, at some point you're gonna have some sort of weird tussle, disconnect, or whatever, and the relationship's gonna change, whether either one of y'all want it to or not. And it's just kind of like how you move forward with it. Because I always say, like, for me, the biggest thing is like the aftermath, the aftercare of things. Like if we're going through something, like, and in the moment, both of us right, one of us wrong, whatever, the aftercare of it is where you really can see it's like, okay, is this the kind of care that I want toward me? Is this not?
Yeah.
If it's not, then maybe I need to fall back or something needs to change. We need to have a conversation, something. And if whatever it is, that's what it is.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm very much it is what it is kind of person, especially with other people. If that's what it is for you, but that's not what it is for me, we know where we're at now. I don't need to push anything or do anything else because I mean, like, you know, I'm gonna go over there. So and then also taking whatever you have and really like whatever happens and really reflecting too, because you know, I have not always been not the problem. Like I've had people who had to fall back for me at one point, and I had to be like, you know what? They fell back for a good reason. I'm gonna come back around, and I'm gonna take accountability for the stuff that I did to like make that relationship like it was. And you know, the person can accept it, they can't, however they want to do it. But I mean, it is also your responsibility to reflect on if there was anything that you could do. At least take accountability for it, and whatever the person does with that, like that's their business. Like I'm not gonna force them to like be on the same wave with me again. Like,
no, I agree. I definitely agree. And going back to what you said about like ways to reach out.
Yeah.
And I actually thought about when me and my cousin, because I would say when my cousin moved down here for like to go to school and stuff like that, because he's older than me. So actually, he's older than all of us. Actually,
what are you talking about?
There's something wrong with you.
But I can't.
Oh my gosh! Like what's wrong with you?
No, my me and my cousin have developed this like brother sister relationship, and so even though he's moved out. Because he graduated to December, I think. So he graduated in December. But we still keep in contact, even if we can't have like full-blown conversations like we used to. He'll send me like a quick Instagram, like something he's on Instagram, he'll send me that because he thought it was funny.
Right.
Like that's his way of reaching out. And then I'll do the same thing. Cause it's like, oh my God, yo, like you gotta check out this TikTok live right now, bud. Like you gotta, things like that. And then like we'll have conversations about stuff, when we get time, because now he's working, he's doing his thing, and I'm working and I'm doing my thing now. So there's levels to it. One of me and Tyler's like old friends from high school.
Yeah, I feel like I know where this is going.
Okay. We are recently starting to like connect a little bit, and it's literally just through Instagram. But it's because now it's like however the values that we have are starting to match up again. You don't need to be in their space at that time. And that's what it was. At that particular time, we didn't need to be in each other's space. But now it's like, oh, like we've grown up, however we feel is starting to line up again. So it's like, oh, like okay. Is it the same as it was before? No. But like it's a reconnection kind of thing.
Yeah. I listen, and it's so funny you were saying that, because I think that definitely always can happen. I think sometimes people think falling outs, now mind you, some falling outs do need to be like,
yeah,
I'm not rocking with you no more. Like there, when there are certain things that happen, and it's just like never again.
No. Yeah,
you guys know my story. You guys know.
Well, I mean,
you
also know the story about my most recent relationship that ended. So
yeah. So you listen, we know
yeah.
When we just need to. That's it.
That's done. Yeah,
that's done. But if you really thought about something and took some time over it, and you're like, okay, I could maybe move past this if the other person was cool with it too, then they might feel the same way, and y'all might just start reconnecting at another point. Like,
yeah,
everything doesn't. I think some people live in the black and white, but it doesn't always have to be the black and white.
Yeah, and I was for a long time I was the black and white person. I'm not gonna lie. It's either, and I was like that in every aspect. I was like that in relationships too. It's like either we together or we not. Like if we break up, we're not gonna be friends. I'm gonna act like I don't know you.
Mm. I feel that though. I'm definitely kind of.
Well, now to be fair, this past time,
there was reasons.
It kind of needed to be that way.
Yeah.
But I have noticed that, I am in therapy for helping out with this too, because I am now very quick to cut people off, and my therapist kind of had to check me a little bit, like, no, you can't do that. It's like people are human, like we're not robots, and so it's like it's never just oh, you're this way, oh, you're that way, and so I've kind of had to adjust my thinking on that. Like I'm not gonna lie, I've had to adjust my own thinking on that.
I'm
really.
I'm sorry. It was
that's the old one. That's been in there for a while.
About
yeah, but no, I feel like I've always been the type of person who's lived very, very much integrated, where I realize like what I perceive isn't the full story, so I give leniency towards like, all right, I know what's going on in your life. I know things pop up like it as such as life. So
yeah,
but yeah, no, I'm gonna leave my sentence right there. There's definitely a grace period that needs to happen.
I was definitely gonna say, like, I think the biggest thing, and that everything is kind of making me kind of like my brain is firing to, is grace. Like giving grace, getting grace, all that stuff is so valuable. And sometimes we can give too much, and sometimes we can give too little. And it's about kind of like checking in and going, okay, did I give enough or did I give too much? And like, where's your needle compared to the other person's needle? And is it aligning? Because I mean, sometimes we do take advantage of the grace that people give us, but other times there's people who give none, and it's like, I can't even be a human being around you. Yeah. So,
and I guess for the we're self-reflecting. That's where I was kind of getting, and I didn't I didn't like that about myself.
Mm.
And I feel like that's real. Like, I didn't like that about myself. I didn't like the fact that I couldn't give people grace because, and I think it's because if I felt like I gave grace, I gave too much.
Mm.
And so, and ironically enough, there is a song from, oh gosh, it is a Tyler Perry play, actually.
Oh, okay.
And it's a really good one. It's The Marriage Counselor. That's the name of it. And it's like it's the very last song that the character does. And the entire song is literally like, oh, sometimes we stay too long and we don't know the reasons why. And it's like and I think the second line is like, sometimes we stay too long and the answer passes us by.
Mm.
And it's like, I mean, that's really what we're talking about though, because you kind of have to be like, am I gonna give you some grace, or am I just gonna have to cut it off?
That's where I'm at right now. Because how I feel is I've given grace, but it's not noticed, so it makes me feel like I'm, what's the word I'm looking for? That I'm taken for granted.
Yeah. So now I will definitely say too, be careful when it's, I would say friendship in general, not even necessarily long distance. Be careful not to give too much of yourself, because and Tyler knows this, I'm the type of friend, I think Tyler and CJ were dealing with something. And I was like, yo, like, if you need me to, I will cash up you money to like go stay at a hotel or something. Like legit. At the same time, I know I would get that energy back if they were able to do so.
Right.
Yeah.
So like, you got to make sure that you're not giving too much of yourself, because you don't want to overly give. You don't want to overly be like, I'm always going to be there. You don't want to overly be that way, because then sometimes people can take advantage of it. And sometimes you might start to resent the other person if you feel like you're not getting as much back in return.
Yeah. And that's so real, because, it's funny. So me and CJ, a big thing that we keep coming back to is also grace. And it's funny, we literally had like a little thing yesterday, because I literally called you. But
she sure did.
and it really, what it really was boiling down to is the fact that, like, I am the person who gives more grace and he's the person who gives less grace. And so when I'm feeling like, okay, I've given a lot of grace in this, and now I'm feeling like, okay, we're doing too much now. Like, I'm done. Now I'm gonna need some back, or we're about to have a real problem.
Yeah.
And it was so funny because it was something like real small. Like, so.
Oh, they sounded like an old married couple.
It literally.
I didn't go lie.
Like, it's so.
I can imagine.
I know. We always sound like that. So literally, it was like I was supposed to be marinating some chicken or something like that. Yep. But about to be so real. We went to couples counseling maybe like a month back, and we had learned about like having roles and relationships and stuff. And there was like a time point where like our roles kind of flipped in the household, because he was the person who was like bringing all the money in. I was the person who was doing all the chores and stuff. And then we finally got both jobs, but the chores didn't get like aligned to us in a fair way. And so a lot of it ended up on me at a certain point. And I was like, okay, no, we can't live like this. So like recently he was like, okay, I'm gonna do like laundry and like dishes and stuff. And so I was like, all right, cool. But the problem was he didn't do no laundry or no dishes, and then left me to marinate some chicken. And I was like,
absolutely not.
Like, you're not about to start with me. Like, we're really not about to start. Like, I'm so upset. And I was used to, because in the past, he would be the less grace person. So he'd be like, well, if we needed to do that and we're not trying to go out to eat or whatever, like, why are you like tripping about it? But because we've had so many conversations about it, I didn't even have to say anything. Like, it was so funny. And he came home, I had all this heat for him, and he was like, nah, as soon as you got off the phone, I already knew what I did.
Yep.
Like he was like, as soon as you hung the phone up, I already knew. I was telling one of our friends, like, yeah, I done goofed.
I goofed.
At least he knows.
It's like, but you have to have those kind. I think you really have to have a conversation about how much you grace, especially if you feel like that's one of the main issues, and that's what the underlying current is. What it's coming down to. If you don't talk about it, the other person, like, how are we gonna fix it? Like, how am I gonna stop giving less grace so I can, like, make sure that I'm also making sure that the person can be more accountable towards me, and how can they give more grace? So, like, I can also just make mistakes.
I feel like too, another thing you have to think about is, am I giving this person the amount of grace I would give myself?
Exactly.
Because I'm not gonna lie. Now, I'm obviously not in CJ's brain. I'm not. But I feel like, because when you said like, oh, like he doesn't usually give a lot of grace when it comes to stuff like that, and I'm thinking that's probably why he apologized.
Yeah.
Because if the roles were reversed, he wouldn't have given that much grace.
Right.
And I think it's a good thing. It's like, again, we're self-reflecting.
Listen, it's always coming back. It's always coming back.
These Philly shows get real serious real fast somehow.
I mean, sometimes we do sneak in a little serious Saturdays.
We're being seriously silly. Oh, who is this in the background?
You were saying?
At this point, I don't forgot now.
I have one more question before.
Yes.
It's like, with all this long distance conversation and everything, we went from a serious conversation to real back to silly real fast. Like
I said, we're seriously silly.
We are.
Yes, but the question is, when do you plan on seeing the person in mind? When's the next time you're going to see this person?
Tyler.
Ooh, okay.
It
was so crazy because you know what? We were supposed to see each other to do like a cooking class, and then that cooking class just did not work out.
It just never happens.
So I have like no clue, but that's all right. We fly by the seat of our pants. We don't know when it's gonna happen. We always just it's a mystery.
How about this? I'm an aim for like 4th of July.
4th of July.
I'm an aim for that.
No 4th of July plans, so that might.
And now you do. Look at that.
So we might aim for that.
We're gonna make the aim for it. But that's what it is now. Hit us up. See if we hang out on July 4th. We don't even know.
We don't know.
Yeah, no. I know for me, there's two people in mind. Like I said, you
didn't copy my term.
I definitely did.
Oh,
it's up there now.
With it. But with me, I'm saying I'm seeing my the friend I was talking about, my best friend Joseph, probably this weekend. Not this weekend, but within the next 7-ish days. Just because I'm going back home. So if I can, I'm gonna hit him up, do whatever we do. And then for my other friends, I have no idea, because I like to see them, but everyone's in a different space and time. That's a correct statement. Just doing different things in life where it's just I don't know when I'm gonna get to see them again, but I want to see them.
That's nice.
Well, I guess Tyler, I'll ask you: is there anybody else long distance besides me?
I'm actually gonna go see my friend Basil. Hopefully not this weekend, but next weekend. This is Charlotte. They're in Charlotte, so
First of all, I haven't seen Basil in forever.
Right? I definitely haven't seen Basil in years. I think it has literally been years, which is crazy because Basil's probably the closest to me out of like my high school friends. So it's just like there was no reason for us to not see each other. So I'm I'm trying my hardest for next weekend, and I'll actually have money because I get payday that this weekend. So it'll be good. It'll be good.
Listen, we're not gonna skip by that closest best friend as high school thing. We're not gonna skip past that.
No.
I mean, Chill out.
Look, I heard it. I heard you say something, but I was like, no, we're just gonna bypass it. Nah, we're just gonna
The closest is physical distance, y'all. Not too much. I had to be careful. I had to be careful on this podcast. My friends will start trying to fight me. Them call me up, be like, "Who?
I'd never fight you.
Closest best."
I'd never fight you. Don't worry about it.
Also, just like me about to like wrap it up. Also, fun like little thing you could do is also playing games with friends. I always love playing games with friends, even when we're long distance away from each other. Like Overcooked.
Absolutely.
I love Overcooked.
You didn't know it, but that was gonna be the next meeting. Playing games.
We're gonna be playing games the next meeting. It's gonna be great.
Speaking of which, I'm just gonna do this little plug real fast. People who listen to this, pay attention to these episodes. You don't know what's gonna. There's something in the works that me and Tyler are gonna be doing. So just pay attention.
Wait.
You'll find out more.
We've confused.
You'll find out more later. You'll find out more later.
Is she scared just like y'all are? It's good.
But I guess that's the hour-ish time that we asked for you. Cici, the floor is yours. Is there anything you wanted to share, discuss, anything? The floor.
Plug all your channels.
All of them.
I guess I will do that. If you would like to keep up with me, or I actually do reaction videos on YouTube. So if you would like to see me react to K-pop content, which is literally anything, you can find me on YouTube at Cici Renae Music, which is, you know what, I'll go ahead and spell it out too, because why not? It is CICIRENAE and then music at the end. You can also check out my Patreon, where I have there's free videos and there's content over there for like $3 a month. I feel like I'm doing my YouTube intro right now. Let me see. I also have a single out as well called My Story that I just re-released. I also have more music coming out, so please be on the lookout for that. Let's see. And I will leave it with, I have been thinking about this. There's a quote from Law & Order SVU that seems very fitting for this.
Oh my God.
It's like, things don't change except what has to.
I like it.
Girl,
Mm-hmm.
you just did the thing.
I sure did, didn't I?
She come to our show and do the thing.
I sure did.
Well, like we already said, you were busy from just that alone. You were busy.
Yes.
But all that will be in the description because you both sent it to me, so I can put it in the description.
Yes.
But Cici already did a thing, but Tyler, you also had a thing to do.
There's two things.
There's two
this
things.
Episode is amazing. But my thing is actually a journal prompt. So I'm actually glad I didn't do a quote. Which is kind of crazy. Like, she didn't even know I wasn't going to do a quote. But now I'm about to do journal posts now.
How bad?
No, it's good.
Because I've been thinking about it. I was like, yo, that would actually be like really fitting.
And you feel me. You get me. For real.
We're all connected. We got it. We got it. I'm listening. All ears.
Okay, but my thing for the journal prompt I have is, how has your relationship to self-love grown and strengthened over the past 5 years? And I thought that would be really good because, you know, Cici was saying earlier, the relationship with yourself is really valuable for your relationship with anybody else.
Yeah.
First relationship, and you can't have no distance from yourself and then expect to be close with other people.
Yeah.
Is that how it works?
For sure.
I like that. Yeah, no, I think that wraps this up really nicely. As always, don't forget to ask yourself, ask others, and never stop asking questions. See you.